1,000 pounds of gravel or, dirt or whatever careening down the street at 45 miles an hour. It just doesn't seem like a good mix. So I feel like we're all in agreement that needs to be addressed.
I'm not opposed to that. An authority no less than Wikipedia has informed me that, truck routes are actually not designed to be routes through a city, but to be routes around a city, whereas it seems like previously we had moved to establish routes for trucks to move easily through on our arterials. I would be glad to talk to the city administrator about getting it on an agenda soon. Is there anybody else that feels the same way, or does anybody feel
Well, I think that
to argue against it?
the way to approach it would be to relook at the truck routes in general and have a discussion around what's currently marked, and then have staff make recommendations, understanding everybody's concerns on where they think that truck traffic could logically go that may not be as concerning.
I think there is some urgency on the Center Street / Gardner Road issue, though, because of the fact that those schools are opening up. And if nothing else, I think there needs to be a school zone delineated on part of that road, so that we can have children crossing Center / Gardner without having a concern about getting hit. That's a real concern of mine, especially with the elementary school going in.
I think that's a fair request from the school zone perspective. One thing I'm concerned about from the road perspective itself is not to be premature in it, because studies 6 years from now are going to be completely different because of the Homestead interchange. Also, we haven't gotten back what the state and the county planned for the Southwest Johnson County corridor and the routing of the highways itself, which all those things may change. So actually, from just looking at the truck routes and things, I think it's worthy of study, but I think we may be premature because it's going to change really, really quickly when the Homestead exit's open. And the truck traffic's going to change pretty quickly, and if we make any advancements on Waverly's. But from the school zone, I think that's fantastic. I mean, we've done that already going north out of town on a 4-lane street, so I think it's pretty valid and something that needs to be considered perhaps sooner than later, even waiting for any of these other pieces, because the school's going to open, and it might be time to revisit that here within the 90-day period that we've actually got before kids start crossing that street, and looking at the cost of what the signage and what it would be to implement something like that. That's actually probably the most valid piece I picked up out of all of it, the most timely.
If the sewers are a must-have, then certainly the safety of the children crossing the streets, the speed limits and the trucks are just as important.
I would agree. Tori, do you have any objections?
No, I agree wholeheartedly.
Then let's try and get this on a future agenda, toot sweet.
Okay.
I think we want to be quick but not hurry.
Okay.
Anybody else have
Yeah,
anything?
I just have one thing. The risk stuff that we saw earlier, we're in since I've been on council, we've seen this about once a year. So I guess my ask would be, we're getting ready to appoint several new people to planning commission, several boards. So I think that that's a very valuable training to have, and I would hate for somebody who's appointed, in a month, to have to wait till next year to get that more facilitated training.
Okay.
So if we could maybe put something in place to,
Sure.
okay.
At the very least, if they could make the video available to us to show in an open session again.
Sure.
Certainly. Well, and I think that we've got directors that they can show this to new members and directors who have experience with this and have seen the video and heard our friend from Kutek Rock speaking today. They can work with the members that they've got on their commissions or boards.
That's a great point. Can we, I noticed they grabbed it and not ran per se, that's not there, but they took the disc with them. I apologize if they watched the video later on. That's not the, we have a copy of that?
We do on loan.
Okay, it might be valuable as we look at that and the governing procedures of appointed orientation process. That would include that as actually one of the mandatory requirements within the first 45 days of placement within office, to view that along with anything else. I know most of us took the time to visit City Hall and visit. They may not need to spend half the day like a lot of us have done orienting ourselves, but formalize an orientation process for new appointments to council boards and anything else that may fit into that mold, and that's part of that hour-long session that might be worthy discussion.
We've got Councilmember Roberts over there shaking her head emphatically. She,
Well, because I agree, because I've been
come
on
from boards.
commission boards, and sometimes you're just thrown in, so I think that a training plan would be awesome.
We formalized the appointment process, so now the next step is to formalize the orientation process and have that as, you know, so the mayor and her team can say, here's step, first step was getting appointed, the second step is this piece. And I don't think it'd have to be a very comprehensive piece, we want it to be as comprehensive as necessary, but not obsessive by any means. But that piece, partnered with some, you know, our policies and other pieces, would be a great way to get them introduced and get on the right foot right out of the chute.
You know, I think that a lot of people in the appointed boards don't understand, for example, that their meetings are also covered by COMA and CORA, and that's very important for them to understand, that the etiquettes that, you know, we are bound to as city council members also are required to be adhered to by them as well, so.
So maybe during, we can see if we can get that off loan and permanent part of the collection, so to speak.
that'd be great.
Okay.
I would, I want to ask Captain Moore, we're prepared for a festival on the trails? Everything's,
We are.
everything's rock solid, ready to go? Ready for contingencies?
Yes, we have, I think we have over 54 people, officers coming in for that day.
Awesome.
Due to the increase, anticipated increase because of the entertainer is. We've also got help coming in from Fire District 1, Johnson County Med-Act, and Olathe's, Pomtech unit is gonna be coming in.
Excellent. And the only other thing that I've got, I don't know who saw it on, the city's Facebook page, which everyone that, is in the audience or is going to watch on video later, I would suggest you like the city's Facebook page. But there was a story, a link to a story on there about the wastewater treatment plant, a cover story, Scott Milholland on the cover, and a fair amount of discussion in the article about the treatment plant at Kill Creek going above and beyond to find ways to do things more efficiently and saving the city money in the form of tens of thousands of dollars. My hat's off to them. Jim, I'd like to get out and have a tour of the facility sometime soon.
You're very welcome to come.
Yeah, well, and that's, I will contact you, and Scott has invited me before, and he assures me it's not so bad. Yeah, I'll report back about that and let you all know, and if it's not so bad, you ought to come, visit at some point. But Jim, you and your staff, Scott and the staff at the wastewater treatment plant, kudos. Well done. So.
Oh, one last thing, this kind of ties into what you were saying about the wastewater treatment plant field trip, but it's kind of what we talked about before, that it seems like really all of us need to get together and have a real orientation about everything, because I know in the previous city administrator that we had, I don't really think that an offer was extended to show us around, and I know we could do that on our own, perhaps, but I think why do it, 6 times? Why not just take everybody and department by department go through and see what we do here? I mean, I'm, yeah.
We'll put something together for you.
Yeah,
Does anybody see value in that? Because
absolutely.
it's been 2 years now, and I still really haven't seen much.
Yeah.
Put something together.
Well,
That might be my own fault, but I feel like it's to everybody's advantage to go together.
Sure.
Yeah. Well, I'd sure like to see the water treatment plant and the wastewater treatment plant. It's 2 spots that I haven't seen, but I'm looking forward to, and I kind of hate that it takes a covered story in a publication that goes out to all of your peers across the country, but,